Joining me now in the Sovereign Radio studio via Zoom, he's a distinguished litigator. He's a man that's dedicated his career to protecting civil rights and promoting accountability, transparency, and integrity in our government, fidelity to the rule of immigration law. And as we know right now, illegal immigration is a huge challenge that all of us are going to have to face. It's going to impact every American. We'll discuss that today with our guest. He's defined his career by being tough and fair on immigration reform. He's a man that believes in the rule of law and borders here in America. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dale Wilcox, the Executive Director and General Counsel for, I believe, a very important organization in 2021, the Immigration Reform Law Institute. Dale, welcome to Sovereign Radio.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Dale, thanks for indulging that long introduction. I think what you're doing at the Immigration Reform Law Institute, it's a very high importance at this time, and a time of flagrant immigration policies by this abominable administration. Our discussion today is going to center around the key immigration issues and the hot buttons, given this horrible situation. There's a lot of hot buttons right now with the illegals at our southern border. First, most of the time I've got a guest on the show, I like to know about their background and their resume. I've read about yours. You've spent your professional career working on immigration law and protecting civil rights while trying to create accountability and integrity with the law. That's a pretty admirable notion. That's what you do. So my question is, not regarding your background, but did something in your childhood or adulthood, some event or series of events, get you focused on immigration and immigration reform? How did you come to focus your life's work on immigration reform?
It's a really good question. I don't think there was one event in particular that turned me on to this. I spent more than 10 years working as an attorney for Judicial Watch. And Judicial Watch is, and I've always been mission-minded in my legal career. At one time when I started practicing law, the law firm I worked for was General Counsel for National Right to Life and the Christian Coalition and causes of that nature. And then I went over to Judicial Watch, and Judicial Watch, principally, they ferret out waste, fraud, corruption, and abuse in the system. And at Judicial Watch, we started looking at the issue of illegal immigration. And I actually wrote the first brief for the organization in a case in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, where Hazleton, Pennsylvania was trying to crack down on illegal immigration. They were having a real problem there. And I got introduced to the immigration issue and saw how important this issue is. People really don't realize how it affects every area of their life. And if you are a taxpayer in this country, let me tell you, you're paying through the nose for this issue. Not to mention the myriad of other issues that are grouped in with illegal immigration, health risks, as we see now with COVID positive illegal aliens coming across the border and just being released into our communities. The national security threat that we is forced upon us by this administration. So I made the jump from Judicial Watch over to the organization I'm at now, and have been doing that for almost 10 years.
Wow, I was not really quite plugged into your background with Judicial Watch. I've been a donor of Judicial Watch for many years. I'm big on what Tom Fitton does. I did not realize you cut your teeth with them. I don't want to make this about Judicial Watch. I would rather have Tom Fitton on the show for that. So, but I have to ask, how influential was your work there? And Tom or some of the other lawyers there who do great work, how influential were they on your work now at the IRLI?
Yeah, as you stated, I cut my teeth working with Tom Fitton and someone who's rarely ever mentioned. I don't know if Paul would appreciate this, but Paul Orphanitis is the director of litigation, and he has been since the inception of Judicial Watch, and brilliant legal mind. And he helped shape who I am today. Larry Klayman was chairman and chief counsel at that time. So I have to give Larry Klayman a lot of credit for the great instruction that I received. I was involved in a lot of high-profile cases, Chinagate. I could go down through the list. FBI Gate, where the Clinton administration obtained FBI files on Republicans. I litigated that case for them. Elion Gonzalez case. I was the lead counsel on that case. So a lot of good experience at Judicial Watch. They're doing a lot of good things over there.
Well, don't tell Tom I'm cutting my donations in half and giving the other half to your organization. Please don't tell him that.
Mum's the word.
Yeah. We're talking with Dale Wilcox, the Executive Director and General Counsel of the Immigration Reform Law Institute. Dale, what got my attention on your organization, you received a really unique honor recently when former President Trump, he issued a public statement praising the organization and its efforts for encouraging people to support the group and its work protecting Americans. And I think that's why anybody should be thinking about your organization and donating it to it. But I want to read from his statement and then ask you a question. President Trump's statement on September 30th read, "The Immigration Reform Law Institute is fighting for you and me. They fought in the courts against the anti-borders left to defend my immigration policies that make America great. Now they're pushing back against Biden's destructive immigration agenda that weakens our great country and puts us all at risk. I strongly encourage people to support the IRLI and their mission to protect our borders, our nation, and our people." You know, Trump has a way with words. You couldn't really say that any better about your organization. But I'm curious, how did it feel to be recognized for all your work? What thoughts did you have as you read President Trump's statement about your organization?
Yeah, wow, what an incredible endorsement. I couldn't have asked for a better endorsement from the president. Tom Homan, I don't know if you're familiar with Tom Homan. He's a
I was going to ask you about him a little later, sure.
Yeah, he's actually a senior fellow with my organization, former acting ICE director under Trump. And Tom introduced us to the president. Obviously, Tom is still very friendly with the president, and the president is very thankful for the work we did during his administration. My organization is a not-for-profit law firm, and we're dedicated to achieving responsible immigration policies that serve the national interest and get the national interest, Americans, not foreign countries, America. What's best for America? And we're the only organization that focuses purely on immigration.
Coming up, I continue my conversation with Dale Wilcox from the Immigration Reform Law Institute as Dale and I discuss the real agenda of illegal immigration that's plaguing America. It's all straight ahead on the other side as Sovereign Radio rolls on.